And welcome live to the LV Home Experts Radio Show, where we talk about real estate and financing. If this is your first time tuning in to this station, just want to say thank you. And for all the podcast listeners out there, my name is Chakits Kruksawat. I'm with Simply Vegas, licensed real estate agent out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I got my man Dan French with a guarantee rate. What's going on, Dan? How's everything going?
What's going on?
Oh, you know what? Look, I already messed up already.
That's all right. What's going on?
So today, Dan, we actually got a very special guest, guys.
Yeah.
Look, the myth, the legend. Look at this. This guy's looking sharp right here.
Oh man, thank you.
And his name is Steve Escalante. Is that how you say it?
That's it.
A
Steve
man
Escalante.
with all trades, huh?
Yeah, they call me the most interesting man, and I'm still trying to figure that out. So.
Hey, Dan, will you shut that door a little bit right there? Thank you. So I looked on your Instagram page. It seems like you have a bunch of followers, which is very impressive here. I think you have, about 95,000 followers right now.
Yeah, we stay very active and busy, and we're involved in a lot of different industries,
Yes.
so we stay kind of busy.
So I see that international business, developer, luxury real estate, hospitality, tech. So what's going on, man? You're like a jack of all trades.
I'd like to say that a little bit of a jack of all trades. I've been very blessed and fortunate to, put myself into different situations that I've been lucky enough to learn a few things in my journey. I call it my real estate journey. That's the beauty of real estate. It's an industry that you can actually venture off into so many different areas, which is beautiful.
Okay. So what's this company called Growth Holdings? What's this all about?
So Growth Holdings is our corporate company. It's a corporate structure called Growth Holdings. It's a very, very different type of enterprise than what you're used to. The founder, Philippe Ziadi, started this company with the vision of growing this conglomerate of real estate. And, the different verticals that we kind of play in is predominantly real estate. We were one of the biggest real estate flippers in the country. We're a full-blown construction company with an unlimited license. We're building multiple high-end luxury communities right now. We're one of the biggest custom builders in town.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg. We're also in renewable energy space, and we're also in technology. So that our motto as a company is connecting minds, creating the future.
And how long have you been out here in Vegas?
I actually moved out here in Vegas in '97. I packed up. I moved out here. My family was actually coming out here to Vegas, and I came to college out here to go attend UNLV, and never left, man. It's like the casinos. Once they get you in,
Yeah.
you just can't get out.
Yeah.
So I ended up staying in Vegas, and that was the start of my real estate career back in early 2000s, like 2002.
Oh, nice. You got anything to say, Dan, as I make the adjustments here?
No, I was going to bring that to your attention, So you look at your situation. So how many companies do you own?
Me? Well, I'm part of this group, the Growth Holdings, but, I have my own, private endeavors that I do in real estate.
Okay.
Growth under the Growth umbrellas. I'm one of the brokers of one of the real estate companies. I'm a broker in that as well. There's Vibrant Realty that handles a big portfolio of multifamily and residential property management and traditional real estate. I'm on the brokerage side of the Growth Luxury Homes brand. So Growth Luxury Realty is actually the footprint of real estate on there, and we have offices here, California. We've expanded into Houston, and we're expanding onto the East Coast right now as well.
So how long have you been selling real estate for?
Since 2002.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
you've been around when the market had crashed,
man,
the
I've
ups
been
and downs.
around the ups and the downs, and below.
Okay.
I've been a part of all of it.
So would you say that we're coming to a peak at this point, the way that the market is going? What's your
man.
thoughts on that?
You know what? It's. I have a lot of discussions about this. I speak a lot about this. I think that we're in a somewhat stable market. We're on the increase, but without kind of understanding the dynamic of our city, it's hard to kind of from the outside in just answer that question in a quick
well, it's kind of hard to compare a macro versus a micro level because it's completely different. Real estate is completely local, so even breaking down to like zip codes, it's all completely different.
What I typically tell people and kind of tell our agents and whatnot and new clients coming into the market, that Las Vegas is unlike any other market in the world.
Yeah.
We're the most unique real estate bubble, I think, in the entire country, and I would even say in the world. From a lifestyle perspective, I think it's definitely in the top 3 lifestyles in the entire country. From just the food, the shopping, the type of just access you have to nature. You have the mountains, you have the lake, close access to the beach on a short flight. We really have very, very unique parameters. But the luxury here really wasn't prevalent. If you go 10, 15, 20 years, it's nothing like it was today. From a design standpoint, you now have a ton of great custom builders in the market. So now luxury is now a need. There's a huge need. So that's why you're seeing so much luxury building, and the luxury space is just going crazy because the market's demanding that right now.
So why is there such a high demand in luxury? Okay. But before you answer this question, let me ask you this first. What is luxury? Like, what do you consider luxury? What is that price point?
That's a good question. Luxury, luxury, I define luxury as it's beyond price. When you say luxury, it's the full package. It's beyond just the home and where it's at. It's where is it situated? What's the lifestyle? That's luxury.
Yeah.
Whether you're living in New York and then you're living on the Upper East Side, there's a reason why it's Billionaires Row, because you walk down and you have the best shops, the best shopping, Fifth Avenue, everything is right there, access. Same thing as Beverly Hills, or if you're in San Francisco or Hong Kong, and a lot of these markets that, we navigate. We have a lot of business endeavors in a lot of these other markets. Vegas has all the check boxes of a supermarket. So when we talk about supermarkets in real estate, it's the Hong Kongs, it's the Londons, it's the Dubais of the world. Vegas has the characteristics of a supermarket. The only thing that we don't have is the price point that these other markets have. So from a value perspective, if you're an outsider and coming from one of these international supermarkets or Beverly Hills or one of these markets, you go to Vegas and you look at, okay, there's so much better shopping, so much better restaurants. Every Michelin star chef is here. Lift capacity, direct flights from every continent in the world direct to here. That's something that's very unique. But what are we missing? We have golf course, we have this, but that lifestyle, well, that's luxury. So you're in a luxury environment, but the only thing that we didn't have is to support that is, hey, the housing. And now you're seeing the Summit, and you're seeing all of these communities really elevating right now. Now we're catching up to the rest of the characteristics. And why I think the luxury, to answer your question, is going crazy is because we're the best valued market of supermarkets.
Yeah.
Best valued markets on the West Coast. Because if you're on the West Coast, you're seeing stuff that's $2,000-$3,000 a square foot. Here, I mean, we're still creeping up, and you're seeing $1,000 square foot here in the Summit, but it's still a value play for a lot of people coming from other markets.
Yeah.
Especially getting out of town. They still see the value because they're like, we're getting so much for our money. We're getting lifestyle, ease, access, and we're getting, I'm coming out of a 2,000 square foot home for $6 million on the Hollywood Hills. It's 2,000. For that same $6 million, I'm getting golf course, 10,000 square feet. I'm getting a pool. So people are seeing this and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm getting so much value and so much lifestyle.
I agree, but I also think that we're becoming an unhealthy market.
It's interesting.
And I'm going to say, because you're going to have a bigger separation from the middle class, the lower middle class, than you are from the super rich or the elite. And I think there's got to be a balance somewhere.
So that's interesting that you say that, because how long have you been here?
In Vegas?
Yeah.
20 years.
Okay. So I've been here about the same, 20 years. And I see that too from being here. But you got to understand, our perception of that middle class is different than what they're coming.
Yeah.
They may be coming from a middle class selling a $3 million house that their parents owned and whatnot, and coming in here, and here they're high-end luxury.
Yeah.
We're our middle class. So it's kind of a unique melting pot what's happening, because right now we're still stabilizing that. Our city is still growing, and the perception is changing, because once the perception changes of Vegas, that's when everything's going to start to go. Because everyone thinks of Vegas as tourism. They think of it as far as like gambling, and that's all it is. That's all we're good for. But now when people see, wow, there's so much culture, there's so many things happening, great restaurants, all of this is now changing the perception. Now we have professional teams are here now.
Yeah.
Now we're a city. Now we're raising a place where you want to raise your family.
I agree.
And now that perception's changing, and now you're starting to see what's happening.
Do you think home affordability is going to be a problem?
It
already is.
It already is a problem, but it's not just a problem here. It's a problem everywhere in the nation.
It's crazy though, because
It's
you don't see it's like, okay, who puts a Band-Aid on it, right? Like, where does it stop? And I think if you consistently have people coming from out of state overpaying, that's creating that luxury market,
Right.
that elite market, and it's really pushing others out of the market. You look at rates, just a slight increase in rates, and it's like, I can't afford these homes anymore.
But also what Steve is saying is that the people that are selling their home where they live, it's not a luxury market, because the median price point in their area, like even Hawaii, just the condo is $1 million.
Exactly.
And let's just say you had a house there was like at 2.5 million, and it's a dump. Like you can buy literally like a guard shack, right, for like 2.5. You come up here,
exactly,
and it just changes the game, and that's the reason why people are moving out here.
Exactly, but that just makes my point.
Yeah.
Are you going to turn into a California or a Hawaii? Because we were not that before.
But it's
we were
starting to be
affordable.
like that.
Exactly, but we were affordable, and the reason why we're affordable is because we were not infiltrated with so many.
You bring up a good point, and I'm glad you brought up Hawaii.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I speak about our valley, you know, when you put it on a map, if you were to put on a map on the screen or anything, we're an island.
Yeah.
We're literally an island, because all the surrounding mountain range is either BLM, the base, the Lake Mead,
Correct.
the Red Rock. And people don't understand from real estate, hey, look at the values in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Hawaii has the beach.
Yeah.
We're an island. When we're out of land, what is that going to do? The scarcity? And that's really what happened right after 9/11.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that during that time, we were pretty much in a healthy market.
Yeah.
During that time, we had probably about a 3-month absorption of inventory. And on average, we had probably about 5,000 people moving a month, 5 to 10,000, give or take. But what happened after 9/11, it was like, man, it's the end of the world. People stopped buying. People were still moving here.
Yeah.
But then you have 15,000 units of inventory. And after a year later, when people are like, okay, we can go back to buying now, people have confidence. Now you have 150,000 people flooding the market, fighting over 15,000 units. And then you're seeing bidding wars.
Yeah.
Everyone's just bidding, and it's kind of happening now. But what happened is the builders, they started just buying a bunch of land, high price, this. Then people are like, oh, you know what? Let's do high rise, vertical. And then when the market crashed, you saw all the vacant vertical. It was too premature.
Yeah.
For the city. We weren't there yet. But this kind of gave us a little window of, hey, this is coming. And now we're in a healthier market. Builders got a little smarter, but land is scarce. You know, we're doing 2 communities in town, and you know, we're blessed that we have 60 acres on one, 40 acres, and people are like, wow, how'd you do that? Well, you know, it was a process, because getting big tracts as a builder,
It's very hard.
you can't get it anymore. You know?
Well, I agree. I just think from my perspective, so I agree with a lot of you're saying. I still feel that they're going to be moving out to Gene, Pahrump. They're going to be building, not saying that land's not scarce, because it is.
They're not going to have a choice.
Well, here's the thing. I think the value is going to be more here in this little crater that we're living in.
Correct.
Versus on the outside. But eventually they're going to have to build on the outside.
But I think people will adapt.
Yeah.
Okay, they're going to have to. But I also bring up a point that, you know, you look at Las Vegas, and you don't see this stopping anytime soon, where people are, you know, coming to Las Vegas. Is there going to be a point, though, where the cost of living is not going to be that much different between, let's say, California or Hawaii? Because you said
we'll get there.
We're getting there.
We're gonna get there, but it's very unique what's happening in Vegas.
Yeah.
And this is unique in our market, that I say we're a unique bubble, because you're absolutely right. It is going to get scarce.
Yeah.
But what's also happening, another component that's happening, is Nevada is also business friendly, the tax base. So we have large corporations, tech companies that are currently moving entire operations here. You know, I was just talking with the head of a nanotech from the Bay. They're looking for 50, 100,000 square feet here to relocate their whole enterprise here, and they do batteries and things like that. But industry is starting to move here, and once that happens, that's going to support, because it's a different type of industry. It's not just housekeeping. It's skilled labor that's in tech, skilled labor that's in manufacturing, science, and whatnot. That's going to now create higher paying jobs to support this.
Also, what I've noticed is that you have people that lived here. They're also getting pushed out, and they're starting to move out of state too as well. So probably what's going to happen is middle class is going to eventually squeeze on out, and the median price point for a home eventually is going to be at $1 million. I was literally up in SUMMERLIN in a community called Foxtail. This is by Pulte, right? They just literally completed one of the last homes out there, and the home is just cookie cutter standard, and they're asking $1.3 million for a 2,500 square foot home.
Wow,
which is pretty ridiculous. I mean, it's going to get to a point where people can't afford housing, right?
Well, they already can't.
And what's going to happen is only the ultra rich is going to be here. The good news is that I'm selling real estate, so.
Well, but I mean, you have to think about you got to have a heart for people that are looking to find a house. You look at California, and it's not just, I mean, look, real estate agents and people make money, but what if the people out there, they're on a fixed income, they got a family, they got kids, and they want to get a house? You look at Hawaii, you look at California, they're living with people. Two families living in a family or in a household.
Yeah.
Why would anybody, like, that might become here if something doesn't fix the appreciation.
Well, eventually it will, but I don't want to go off a tangent or off topic because.
Yeah, but it's true though, right?
I mean, it is true. But, you know, today we're going to be talking about luxury homes because this is important, because I'm starting to see just the average home now, like $1 million is nothing nowadays, right? So, you know, you talked about luxury homes doesn't really have a price. It's a lifestyle. And I'm going to have to agree with that, because you can literally take a 1,800 square feet home, but if you're in a great community, you love it, that's your lifestyle. Could be considered luxury.
Moving here, I have a lot of friends, whether it's their family or their grandparents moving in or the grandma. That luxury lifestyle, they're getting that here. They're moving into a condo. Yeah. But she can walk out, and then she has access to whatever, bingo night, gym, spa, the show this week, and it's a luxury lifestyle. The access is crazy. I was with a friend that works in another industry this weekend. Okay. And we sat back, you know, we were having a cocktail, and he works in the entertainment and food and beverage industry for a big food and beverage company. Yeah. And we were just discussing at how the dynamic of the city has changed so much, as being, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the Visitors Authority, they changed. You know, Vegas used to be like they used to have a theme for Vegas. Yeah. And it's like now it's the entertainment capital. Like Vegas is known for entertainment. It's before it was like gaming or whatnot. They've changed it like a year and a half ago, but I don't think a lot of people realized. Yeah. This weekend alone, the concerts that came in, the sports that came in, the NFL draft, all of this in one weekend, plus a UFC fight. Yeah.
There's big money coming here.
So much happening in one day. There's like 4 different events. Yeah. Like, you know, it's not just UFC. It's not just this. And it's like, wow, how do they pack all of that? So many people are here. And it's like, pick your poison, right? And the announcement of, I think, a Formula One, I think, is really going to change the dynamic of our city.
I mean, look, economically, we're crushing it. Yeah. We're like number 3 in the nation right now as far as economy doing well. So I mean, the money's coming.
The website that you just mentioned, the Visitors Authorities, basically that's actually a good website for data. I used to go there and collect the data.
A lot of great data research.
We were actually getting like 42 million people a year to Vegas, and I think we generated over $12 billion a year in revenue. I think it's even more than that now, especially after this coronavirus situation. It just seems like there's just like a flood of money that's literally just coming into town, right?
And the beauty of it is, you know, pivoting back to real estate. Yeah. What does that mean to us in real estate? I always look at, you know, I'm a history guy. Yeah. I love history. I read a lot about history, and it's just at different levels. Yeah. And looking at our city, I look at our city as it's still virgin. it's still fresh. And from a history, I like going back to older cities, the LAs, the New Yorks, and seeing, well, like, how did they grow? They're the big brother.
Yeah.
And looking at our city and looking at all of these opportunities from real estate and saying, well, what happens? Affordable housing. Well, what would be good areas, knowing how the city's growing, where apartment complexes should be, or other type of affordable, or a strip center, a commercial, because I know that this is happening here, so there's opportunity. And that's opportunity for people that I think we're one of the best places for small businesses.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's very unique, our city here, that all the service industry, they work on the strip. They don't want to be on the strip, but they still want the quality.
Yeah.
And I've noticed on the real estate, a lot of these national tenants, like the Chili's and these, like, you're seeing them close down because the mom and pop, Tom, that used to work over on Wynn, their family opened a restaurant and everybody knows they have a following.
We have more culture, you're saying.
There's more culture, and people want that. They want more quality versus the cookie cutter. And I'm seeing that, and I'm like, man, we have some great eats all over town. And that's, for me, is like opportunity, and saying, okay, well, as cities are growing, what do you need? You need a dry cleaner. You need this. And, like, we're not caught up yet because a lot of that small business hasn't come in, and I think that's where the opportunity is going to be for the affordability for people too.
Now, with the luxury market here in Vegas, we have a lot of master plan communities and, you know, HOAs and stuff. I think we're now probably hovering about 85% of the valleys like HOAs now. And if you look at different cities, different sectors, they don't have like HOAs.
I agree.
What is the benefit on the luxury side by having that kind of stuff here? Are there pros and cons? Because
there are pros and cons.
When it comes to luxury, right, real estate, when I sell a client a home, we look at homes across the valley. You can go out to the northwest, Lone Mountain, you get some dirt, but it's not in a guard-gated community. But if you went to a guard-gated community in Summerlin, the lot is a lot smaller, but the lifestyle is different.
Right.
But in the long run, right, how do you pick and choose, and what is the value? What's the difference? Can you explain that?
Yeah, you know what? It's very interesting because on our custom home side, we oftentimes have clients that come from other markets that don't like the HOA. They don't like being in an HOA because they want to build not only what they want to build, but maybe they want to build a structure for their boat.
Yeah.
And they don't want anybody telling them that because they're coming from another market, Washington, Oregon, where they can do whatever they want. They have the money and they can do it. So HOAs in one regard are restrictive, but they're restrictive for a purpose of, you know, trying to make things uniform, make things fair, to keep value. The idea is great, but I do think that we've overdone it, in my opinion, because, again, coming from other markets, I mean, you go to Beverly Hills, there's no HOA.
Yeah.
And it's like the top real estate, one of those top real estate markets in the West Coast. And they hold their value, but they've created that. I do see pockets here in Vegas that have that, and will have that long term, will be the future Beverly Hills, because people want that diversification. You know,
so, with your opinion, what do you think is the top communities that would retain and hold those values? And this is just your opinion.
I think that's a tough question. I do think there's a few communities that in town have given flexibility to the consumer. I mean, you're starting to see like the Sky opening up to like different styles. The Summit's done that. You know, we built a house in the Summit that was a kind of a Spanish Montecito, Santa Barbara.
Ooh.
In the Summit. And everyone was thinking, oh, it's just modern, but Summit allows for anything.
Yeah.
And so they were getting heartburn from people like, why are you guys building that in the Summit? So, you know, we were one of the first to finish in the Summit, not the first to start construction, but the first to deliver.
Oh, wow.
Because the way we build, we have a whole process that we do.
So you guys are pretty efficient with it.
We're
then.
efficient. We have a whole structure of how we do. You know, we bring the commercial approach to residential. You know, they build these massive casinos in 18 months. And how come custom homes are taking 4 years that are like a fraction of even the size? So that's one. But when we built this, it just sold on the market for record price for that type of house. and people were like blown away.
What was the price?
And it was like for 18 million.
It's just like for 18
You
million.
know, and then
I got to get my game right.
18 million. What do you say?
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
it, you know, for whatever reason, the new owners needed to sell, and they're selling it now for 22, 23.
Oh, wow. That's
which
impressive.
Which is crazy. It's $23 million for the house.
How long did they own it?
The original ones? I don't know, probably about a year and a half, maybe.
Really? They just held it for a year and they're selling it that
like
much
a
more.
couple years, from when they moved in. They had it for a couple years pre-COVID.
Wow.
And the thing is, it's crazy. People couldn't believe it, but they got to understand we're immersed in this market.
Yeah.
So everyone thinks like modern.
Yeah.
Dude, you come to Beverly Hills, that contemporary or that Spanish contemporary transitional sometimes gets more than the square houses. And we're seeing that a lot of that right now from a design standpoint, we're transitioning. People are going away because it's not timeless.
Yes. And you know what? I talked about this all the time. Right now, the trend is that modern look. 3 years from now, that could be gone, right? But also what I'm seeing is like investors are going into these luxury homes where they're just traditional homes, gutting it out, turning it into contemporary, throwing some modern fixtures in it, making it look like really nice. And the design of it just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's more of a homey type of feel.
Yeah.
It's resonating more with the market.
I noticed that.
Because you always got to think of the resale.
Yeah.
And if it can blend, when we were doing spec homes, we want to try to build something because you don't know if it's a family, if it's a bachelor pad, if it's this.
Yeah.
You got to build something that you're going to be able to sell.
It's like a chameleon for everybody.
For everybody. And that's where design's going too.
Now, I want to go back to communities. You mentioned Askaya. Askaya is great, right? However, there's really no value as far as like there's no golf course. They have a beautiful clubhouse, but like, you know, if you compare communities with Askaya versus McDonald Highlands, they have a golf course, right? I personally would like to be out there because of what they have to offer. And when we sell luxury homes, that's what you're selling is the lifestyle. So you gotta kind of have to weigh the pros and cons between the two, right?
Out of all the communities, you know, the reason why we actually went in and bought all the finished lots in Southern Highlands.
Yeah.
So we're positioned in Southern Highlands. I think there was like 32 or 34 lots left.
Yeah.
We went in and bought everything in there. And what we've done is working closely with the HOA, bought them from the developer, to kind of reposition that community. That community as a whole, it was very traditional.
Yeah.
Tuscan, traditional. So, you know, with the market shifting, people looked at that as like, oh, the design. So we went in, worked with them, and kind of tried to create a more transitional feel with the interiors. If you look at everything we've been doing in Southern Highlands, very modern. It's got a lot of modern flair on the inside. But one thing we liked that was unique about that community, above and beyond every community, and that's why we're positioned. And we like it from a lifestyle because it's beyond the exclusive golf course, the amenities. You go into that community, and you do not feel like you're in Vegas.
Yeah.
It's lush. You feel like you're in Augusta on the East Coast. There's trees everywhere, tree-lined streets. You don't get that in McDonald Highlands. You don't get that in any of the communities. You don't get that feel, and it's now starting to resonate from the out-of-market buyers. They're going to Summit. They're going to these other communities, and then they pop in there, and they're like, whoa, this feels like I'm back in Beverly Hills, but I'm in Vegas. I like this. What can I build?
No, you make a good point because every community has like its own different style. Like you walk in to a community, or I'm sorry, you drive into a community, and it's like, okay, I feel like I'm at home. Or some places it's kind of dry, but you kind of like it. It's just a lifestyle, right? It's all case by case. And I think when it comes to luxury, that's basically what you're selling is that lifestyle, and it's got to fit and suit that consumer's needs.
We like Southern Highlands because we feel that it could really resonate with the super high-end luxury. Right now we're doing a 16,000 square foot hillside with strip side view on that one, with like a 6,000 square foot guest house and like a 3,000 square foot wine tasting structure.
Okay.
Uber top luxury. But what really resonates about that community, I tell people, it's a sleeper.
Yeah.
It's like still best value, I think, in town.
Right.
But for the Uber luxury, I'm like, where else can you leave your house from the gate, and in 5 minutes, now that star punches through, you're on your private jet in 5 minutes. From your house, door to tarmac, 5 minutes.
Wow.
What community? There's no community that has that.
You're kind of tucked away, but you're kind of in and out. Like if you want to get to the Strip, you want to get anywhere, it's just right there. Yeah.
Now with Star, the access to Star and the freeway, but you fly in your private jet, you get into Henderson International, you pop out, it connects, it curves right into Star, like you're right there. That was a game changer too, because now you're like, if I'm flying at that altitude, I got my G5 going, I'll be there in 5.
Yeah.
Now it's like my commute is different. My commute, if I'm luxury, is different than your commute.
Yeah.
My 30-minute drive is I'm going to the tarmac and I'm going to my office in LA.
This guy's talking about G5s. I'm still working on a BMW.
Well, I was just going to say, you got a runway next to the house. I mean, take off and you can land. I mean,
that's the closest. You see like these pictures with John Travolta. He flies his plane to his house.
Yeah.
That's the closest we have to that. Is living in Southern Highlands.
You need traffic control, though, right?
We need traffic control, man.
I mean, so
now when it comes to luxury properties, should somebody be aware of what lots that they're purchasing? Does it matter with a view, or is it okay not to have a view, but you're in like a luxury community, but you make your backyard like a part of your house? It's an oasis. I mean,
you know what? We typically sit with clients when we go on the custom home side.
Yeah.
The clients will come in with us. They usually fill out a questionnaire, which we have, so we can kind of identify what does that luxury mean to you.
Yeah.
For some people, they want the view, they want to feel that air. For other people, it's look, when I'm home, I want privacy.
Yeah.
I want to walk out at my pool and be European sunbathing. Like I don't want anybody. So some people
describe that.
I'll take you to Europe and I'll show you. I'd rather show you than describe it. I'll put it that way. But what that represents, is something different to everybody. So when we sit with them and they're identifying lots, we can kind of help guide that process because we've built in all the communities, so we can help them understand for what you're asking for. Maybe this lot is just not a good fit. Maybe this lot just kind of doesn't adhere to that. Whether it's a 2-story or a single story or what have you. So these are some of the things that we go through in the process of building a new custom home, because that is important. I think lot is important.
Yeah.
Location is important, but what you put on it is like almost as important, because if you don't understand the contour of the lot, and I think sometimes this is where sometimes clients or architects can fail, or builders, is like, how do you create value? I think luxury for us, at least how we look at luxury, our company, is value creation. And everything we've done, like when you're doing flips, you go in and say, okay, well, how are you going to create value? Okay, well, we'll redo the kitchen, we'll redo the floor. Same with luxury. Well, how do you create value? Well, maybe it's a bigger doorway.
Yeah.
It's not costing extra, but wider hallways. It's little things that maybe don't come, but it gives you a feel that gives you so much more value that it's like, wow, it feels different. So in that regard, with the lot, for example, well, how can you create the most value?
Yeah.
Is it an elongated lot? So now you want the house to look more elongated. So now people think like, whoa, this is like a massive house, even though that's part of the design.
Yeah.
And it could still have the same square footages, but how do you position everything in what you're doing? Because at the end of the day, you want to create the most value for your money. You want the most bang for your buck. But I think with luxury, if you go in with that mindset, man, you're always going to hit a home run.
Now, when building with a luxury builder, should you be working with an interior designer as well at this point? At this level?
the way we look at it.
Yeah.
I'll answer the question with that, and then you can decide what you think, right?
Yeah.
So, the reason why we've set up our operation the way we set up to kind of have everything under one roof is because the industry, ideas, everything is so segmented. You got an interior designer has an idea. You got an architect has an idea, and you got the owner has an idea. So typically 90% of what was happening in the typical situation build, homeowner finds the lot, then the homeowner hires an architect and says, oh, I want this, and the architect has no constraint of budget or anything. So he's designing what the owner's telling him. Then they're like, oh my gosh, it's great. Then they go get the contractor, he bids out the set of plans. And then they're like, holy crap, we're $4 million over budget. Because I like the house, but shoot, this is not even anywhere close where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Where are those checks and balances?
Yeah.
And then they haven't even got to the interior design yet.
Yeah.
well, what are you putting in? Let me get the interior designer, call outs. And then they're like, oh, we just want another $2 million over that because interior designer had her vision of that. So we took the approach and say, look, we have to have this round table ecosystem where we have to control the architect. So on the front end, we're like the client.
Yeah.
We want to spend $4 million. I want a pool. I want this. I want an office. I want a sauna, whatever. And the architect, as they're designing, you have the contractor there looking at the plans and saying, hey, this, you know what? This span here is going to cause more steel. That's an extra $400,000.
Yeah.
Like, so now
You're working together as a team.
You're working together as a unified force, and also with the interior design as well.
Yeah.
So as you're doing, the interior designer can come in and say, hey, you know what? Maybe this doorway, if you open this up and throw a window here, the interior designer now is adding value.
Yeah.
Again, this is now value creation. We're adding this value to the client because it's faster, it saves time, but it also saves money.
Yeah.
And that's the value we think we want to create. Is like, hey, how can we save you money and save you time so you don't go a year from now and now you have a project where you got to restart again and you just spent $500K on plans. This is what happens, and this is why people have the nightmare of building a bad experience.
Yeah.
You know, and it shouldn't be that way. This is not how the hotels get built. All this work is done beforehand. So when you get to the job site, it's just execution.
Yeah.
So I do agree that you should have on the front end all your ducks in a row. I mean, if you're not building with us and you're just building with just any random,
Yeah.
then I would definitely, if you know, taking my advice, I would get your ducks in a row and have every stage, everybody at the table before you take the next step. So that way you can consult with interior design, check off, so everyone's held accountable. Because the thing is when you're paying and you know you're that luxury and it's your money going in, at the end of the day you're accountable, but nobody wants to be accountable. They're getting paid and it's like, well, this is what you said.
Yeah, we're
it's
doing
like,
it.
well, this is what he did.
Yeah.
And then who's accountable?
Yeah.
Who's holding the buck? Well, I'm holding the buck
Yeah.
because I'm paying the bill.
Right.
So, and then I'm accountable. So now how do we shift that accountability and saying, hey, now if everybody's on the table
Yeah.
and I know you checked off because this is how we do, hey, everybody's accountable every step of the way. So if we are over budget, now you can say, hey, well, why are we over budget? If you saw the plans, you did this and you did that. Now you can streamline and get closer to where you need to be. And it's just managing construction. And, you know, and again, the wherewithal in that space, that type of discipline, you find it more in commercial. You don't find it in residential. So.
Yeah.
Now, you did mention add value on luxury listings. Let's talk about interior finishings. What are some of the finishings that we need to look at? And here's why this is important, because there's sometimes I can go into a $7 million home and I can pick that shit apart.
Yep.
Like, this thing ain't got nothing. All it is, it's square, it looks big, it looks luxurious.
So what makes it $7 million then?
Well, that's exactly, right?
Is
So-
it who built it? Is it who, you know?
Is that important?
You know what? In certain markets,
Because it's almost like a design product. Like,
yes.
it's crazy. It's like, who's the builder is, who's the designer, that plays a big part on the luxury side.
You know, what's interesting is you go to other markets like LA.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a SoCal native.
Okay.
So when you go to certain areas in LA, it's like, well, who built, oh, so-and-so architect did this one.
Yeah.
It means something.
Exactly.
Because he's got a reputation of quality or what have you.
Yeah.
We're still early. You know, when people come in from out of market, they're coming from, you know, sophisticated markets. They come in, they don't care who built it. They're now looking at these details, these interiors. And, you know, I'll walk into a home, I'll pull cabinets, and I'll see if the cabinet, is it dovetail? Is it this? Like, I'm looking for this detail from so I can see what kind of quality it is. It may look good on the facade, but what's under the hood?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you don't want to buy a $7 million home and you're looking at shaker cabinets where every other investor's...
Shaker cabinets,
like,
hollow core doors, and it's crazy. But you can walk, I can tell you right now, you can walk into some $7 million model homes, hollow core doors.
Yeah.
You have
orange peel texture.
if you're
apartment
buying-
returns.
If you're buying that much of a home, though, wouldn't you have somebody walk with you? I'm just saying.
Yeah, me.
Well, I'm just saying. You would have somebody walk with you.
Exactly.
Right.
That's a good plug right there.
But let's say, look.
Or Steve.
Well, look,
Together.
Steve together. But you guys, I mean, you can identify that right away, right?
But
Of
you know
course.
what? It's educating the market. And like what I'm telling you
Yeah.
is the same thing when people come in. It's like, hey, whether you build it with us or not,
Yeah.
this is what I would be looking for. Go in, knock on a door, hollow core doors in this. Apartment returns, they're not even linear. Dude, you're paying $6-7 million. That's the same that they go put in the track home. Like, why wouldn't
to save money, right?
It's like you better have level 5 finishings on the texture. You know what I mean?
Aren't level 5 finish, and I'm like, wow. And it's $6 million. It's like, but people don't know.
Yeah.
They get wowed in maybe some furniture, maybe some design, but at the end of the day, when the stuff's breaking down or looks in 12 months looks so dated, it's because the quality.
But do you think people fall in love with more of the layout of the house and what it has to offer the family versus, like, yes, the product is great.
Initially, yes.
Right.
Initially, yes, until they drive it.
Yeah.
It's like a car.
No, you're right.
This is great. And then you buy that car and it ends up being a lemon. It doesn't have the performance.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you know what? It was the worst car I had. I hear these stories in the building.
Yeah.
Construction side.
It's like the average person, though. They go in and they look at a house and they're like, oh, you know what? I like it. I like everything about it. Nobody ever talks about, like, hey, does this got, dovetail? Does this got, soft close? Does this got, the 5 finish, whatever you said? I mean, all these things, I'm just saying people look at that stuff, but unless you're really educated, like a real estate agent in the market, you might find that out, but it's just like maybe some people don't even have a clue what's in that house.
And that's part of the reason why with our new communities Livv that we're doing here in town, we essentially in that semi-custom space, to compete with Tolls of the world and compete with builders that are doing semi-custom luxury here in town. And we all know the different companies.
Yeah.
We want to be the Mercedes, the Bentley.
Yeah.
Because when you buy that, you set an expectation.
Yeah.
And the thing is we're now having to educate and saying, okay,
it's crazy.
Why is your price this? I said, well,
is this what you're paying for?
You're getting a Bentley. You're getting a custom home. So you're getting what we put in the $10 million home at a $3 million price. What that house has, you have.
Yeah.
Level 5 finish, solid core doors, linear returns, the type of material going in, the tech. All of this thing, most builders will give you, let's say, 7-foot slider. We're standard 10-foot pocket door systems. What's the upgrade? 12-foot, 14-foot. We put that in.
And you're getting aluminum versus the fiberglass, whatever's,
So these are the little details that maybe the clients doesn't mean anything if they're not educated, but we try to educate them.
Yeah.
Because when they go to resell, they're going to be like, wow, I'm glad
you can sell
I did
that product,
this.
yeah.
How far do you guys go on tech?
So we're actually going pretty far in tech, like very, very far.
Really?
We don't really talk a lot about the tech right now because the market isn't there.
Yeah, and I was going to actually get into this because this is important because I notice a lot of luxury homes here in Vegas. All you just have data communication and just a coax, and that's it.
That's it.
That's all you
That's
have.
all you get.
And I think that's what this luxury market is missing. And if you take a look at the tech industry when it comes to homes right now, I think it's about a $45 billion industry, but it's continuing to grow. So there's a company out here that I work directly with, and I'm good friends with them. And that's what they do. They do low voltage and high tech on homes, and it's unbelievable what you can actually do to your home. And in all these luxury homes, I'm telling you, if you don't have this right now, right, you're going to be left behind.
It is because it's surprising how basic luxury is when it
That's
comes
why I
to
brought
tech.
it up, because I feel that that's like the next thing,
And the thing is these homes, these communities, we're calling it personalized living, powered by AI.
That's perfect.
And people are like, okay, powered by AI.
That's dope, dude.
It's dope. It's dope. But the thing is, the market doesn't know what that means yet.
Yeah,
exactly.
And the thing is they don't need to, because at the end of the day, where the market's at now, they're worried about, does it look nice? Is it cool? So we had to kind of create a Trojan horse, essentially. So these Livv communities, the secret sauce is not the beautiful design. I mean, we have an international design team that we put our design team that's come up from the Paris office, Mediterranean, the Middle East office, that put together like something that no builder's ever done.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to kind of get long-winded, get back to your tech.
Yeah.
But we put together this different look, this natural boho. Like, what is natural boho? Like, what does that mean in design? It's, I tell people it's like Tulum meets Southampton's.
Okay.
So when you see that, you're like, whoa, that's hot. Then the other is Euro chic. It's European, it's chic, it's got gold trim, glam. It feels like you're in a 5-star luxury resort in New York City.
Oh, I love that.
Little, Art Deco, you're like, wow, this is hot.
I can get used to that.
Exactly. So, and then you got your modern flair for those that want that modern flavor, clean lines, but we put warmth into it. We added some woods and whatnot.
Nice.
So, but the thing is that's different that builders aren't doing is you do the natural boho. It's like having that $500,000 interior designer that from the ground up fixture, curvature of the walls.
Yeah.
You're getting that in this community, meaning that, the typical you go to get a home at any of the communities, you go in, then you go to design center, and then you're just like Wild West picking whatever you're going to pick.
Yeah.
The interior design team, that top interior, they already did the interior design for home. You're just maybe picking your slab color, wood color, but every wall has curve. There's structural elements to that style.
Yeah.
Where the whole home structurally is different for the same floor plan.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that builders aren't doing. So we're wanting to take it up a notch by doing that. Now, that's because people are interested in the design. And tech right now isn't the conversation piece when you think real estate. But we're forward thinking because we're in the tech industry. Our R&D in tech is out of Germany with like all the brightest minds, ex-IBM, that these guys have put most of the tech that we're using now, they were a part of.
Yeah.
So these guys came in and say, hey, this has never been done in the space. You go to all the conventions, the CESs of the world. You go to all these trade shows, Ring, Google Home, Apple Home. But then what does that mean for me as a consumer? Like I got to go and plug it in, figure it out, hire someone. But then I have all these different apps.
Yeah.
It's not uniform.
It's just, they're just not there yet.
They're not there
yeah.
yet. So we said, look, we're going to put our money where our mouth is.
Yeah.
We'll create the IP. Let's create a skeleton in our homes that allows not only for API integration for whatever you want, but the home itself has a brain.
Yeah.
So when we say powered by AI, our homes, the more you live in the home,
it recognizes
the more it's going to learn your behavior, deep learning algorithms that the home is going to know you.
Ooh.
Okay? So, it's the technology's there. You go to Facebook, you like my page, I like your page. We both like cars. We're both liking cars.
Yeah.
Then it's feeding you cars, and you should be friends with him because he likes cars. It gets to know you. The tech gets, why aren't homes doing this?
Yeah.
Why doesn't the home know that I'm coming home at 6 o'clock because my GPS is saying I'm driving home? And the
lights
home,
come on.
And the home is telling
you're ready
me, hey,
to go.
Do you want it the same temperature when you left? No, I want it cooler. Boom, done.
Blinds kick
Blinds
on,
kicking
music.
on.
That's dope.
And the thing is you're not having to push a button. It's just happening.
It just knows.
The home knows by sensors that nobody's home because the kid's not home, nobody's home, because it reads that nobody's home. There's sensors built in the home for this. So why is the hot water loop running in excess waste? Why is power going to this? It doesn't need this. It knows. And this is the stuff that technology exists on more commercial and warehouse where building management systems. So what we've done in the Livv communities is combine building management, energies from solar management, also low voltage, and also that lifestyle of health, because we were putting in sensors that eventually the UV filtration is going to know, because we want to sustain your health, your pocketbook. We want to sustain all the occupants on all levels. So if you're getting allergies, we want the technology's there where it's like, man, I got watery eyes today. I'm getting allergies. Well, the home knows it's because of this pollen is in the air. So it's going to start filtering this so that way your environment's the most comfortable.
Jeez, that's unbelievable.
But the thing is that this type of technology exists.
Yeah.
The problem is builders aren't tech people. Tech people aren't real estate people.
Yeah.
So how do you bridge that?
With you, Steve.
Exactly. That's what we're doing with Livv. We brought tech because we're in tech.
Yeah.
We understand real estate and say, hey, this is the new product that we're going to drop because this is where the future is going.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
And right now, maybe the market's not ready to understand that, but I think 5, 6, 7 years from now, when the market's talking about it, they're going to be like, whoa, I have a Livv home. It's going to mean something in the street.
Now let's segue right into this because explain this company here. So this is a new company, right?
Yep.
That you're working with. Is that correct?
Yep. So this is a new company that was developed. So under our umbrella, this company was developed specifically with this initiative, the mandate that, hey, we're going to build, we're basically a tech company building smart homes.
Yes.
When you see Livv, you got to think it's a tech company building smart homes. It's basically the Tesla of homes.
Ooh, love that.
So what Tesla did in the automotive, they were so forward thinking. They thought Elon was crazy. And next thing you know, every auto high end is coming out with electric. Porsche, Mercedes, this, Hummer. Why? Because they saw the market is demanding it now. The market's loving it, so they're catching up. He was so far ahead of the game that his deep learning, the amount of data that he's had with what he's building out, the infrastructure of behavior patterns of how those cars are used, man, he's so far ahead of everybody. That's what we're doing here because we want to build better houses.
Let's take a look at this intro here. Let's watch this.
Pause. Look around and take it all in. The space and matter, the look and feel, the sun and wind. For home is finally back. I am an all-in-one, a one-to-many. I am everywhere you want to be and everything you need to have. I'm a hybrid original, the new sense of home, fluid and human-centric. I breathe, I flex, I grow. Today I live.
I want one. This is dope.
Pause.
Let me turn this thing off.
But
Here
you know
we go.
what? That our manifesto kind of says it all. That's the spirit of Livv. That voice is the house.
Yeah.
The house living. You know, and we're really giving birth essentially to a new era of home building.
All right, so let's take a look where this project is at. So here is the Las Vegas Valley. Here's the west side, south, north, and on the east side, we're going to zoom in just a little bit here.
There you go.
So we are right off on the corner of what Horizon Ridge.
You're right down the street from your from
Yeah,
the
so
spot here.
I think we're right about right
I feel
here.
like
aren't we?
Superman right now. I'm flying.
So I guess this is the whole project right
Correct.
about right here, right?
Yep, exactly.
So is this going to be like a master plan community? Is this going to be guard gated? Let's talk about that a
Yeah.
little bit.
It's going to be guard gated community.
Okay.
If you pop it up, I don't know if you pop it up, but yeah, it's going to be a guard gated community.
Okay.
84 lot subdivision. I'd say about 60 to 65% of the lot, which is the majority of the project,
Yeah.
will have unobstructed strip views, which is very unique. The way we're stair stepping it up into the mountain, it's just a different offering that now is giving people the opportunity. If you want the strip view, great. If you want privacy, we have the back side of the mountain that overlooks to Red Rock. So we've developed a site with that in mind to create all of these view corridors that give the opportunity to give people what they want. They want privacy, you're here. They want strip view, you're here. You want more rustic, like feeling if you're on a cliff, you're on one side of the project. So this is something that we really wanted to create within this community.
So it looks like you do have a few lots here. So are these lower lots here? Are you going to get some views here on this side?
So the first tier, which is this 55 through 58, for example,
Let me see
on
here.
the very top corner. Yep.
Okay, here we
that
go.
first row, that's the very first lowest elevation
Okay.
row.
Nice.
Where those start off are already above the roof line of the housing community in front.
Oh, nice.
So as that stair steps up, you're going to have views. So from lot number 23, which is at the peak that just got reserved yesterday by a client, 43 all the way through 84 is unobstructed strip views.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so it's hot.
So you already got a couple lots that have already sold, huh?
Yeah, so we got a couple lots. Lot 70 was an acre lot that was slated for a custom. We have a couple custom sites in the community.
Yeah.
That one will be closing in a couple weeks. 59 is getting ready to go into contract. So we have about, we're just rolling this out.
Yeah.
So this is kind of sneak peek. A lot of this is just
Nice.
people have been eyeing it.
Yeah.
And people have been calling their agents calling us, and we're like, yeah, let's start reserving. We're about to do a huge marketing national push because this is some newsworthy
No, it is.
type of project that it's a different approach of what we're doing.
Are you able to discuss price or no?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
going to definitely get into that. Hey, just a quick fun fact.
I just wanted to know.
One of my agents, we're in a contract with 2 lots. And this is quite some time ago.
There you go.
I don't know if you know Greg Clutters.
Yeah, Greg.
Yeah. So I know we got 2 deals right now.
Yeah.
Sitting in the pipeline. So hopefully that works out. Now let's talk about pricing, Dan. What's the pricing starting off at?
So between the 2 communities, we wanted to create an offering that's from 1.5 all the way to 5 million out the door.
Okay.
So Magnus is going to be, the one on the west side is going to be that 1.5 to about 2.5. Neo, unobstructed strip views, all in with pool and everything, you're going to be closer to like 3.2 to 5 out the door. And when I say out the door, it means your lot, it means the house, it means the pool, it means the landscaping, it means the keys to the Model 3.
Okay.
All of that, you're all in. So if you want to say, hey, I want to stay within under 4, I want to be at 3.5, we'll be able to kind of identify, okay, do you want view or no view? Okay, you do want view, then these are the houses that'll fit your parameters at a base with some options and so forth. So we'll help navigate the client to get them there.
Also, I was reading online, if you buy a house with them, they give you a Tesla. Does that still stand?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Model 3 comes with the house.
That's pretty cool, huh?
The keys to the 3.
Nice.
That's the next marketing hook.
Yeah.
The keys to the 3 when you buy it.
Okay, keys to the 3. So now the other thing is that let's talk about like energy efficient and stuff like that.
Yeah, super.
How's that working with this?
Okay, so going back to our custom home.
Yeah.
When we started getting on the scene, we wanted to be a different custom builder. So we aligned up and partnered up with the Department of Energy. They were just rolling out and dropping a new program that was called the DOE Net Zero program, which is above LEED standards.
Yeah.
Okay. And we said, this is what we're going to do. We built the first net zero home over in Southern McDonald Highlands on St. Croix. Got a lot of awards because it's never been done on a custom home level. What that basically represents, this program, which all of these homes will have under that net zero type of footprint, is the insulation is different, the performance is different. These are steel framed homes.
Oh, I like that.
So steel frame, straighter walls. There's no mold through the steel.
You guys are definitely going to the commercial construction side.
So we're going steel framing. But the difference it's a process.
Is that because the cost is cheaper?
Well, no. I mean, yeah, the cost prohibitive of lumber, but it actually is better for the consumer because you're getting a better product.
So why builders are not using that now?
Well, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's the mindset.
In the past, was wood cheaper to do?
The past, wood was cheaper, but because of things, supply chain, it would. So the thing is because of our size and we're able to pivot, where a lot of national builders, they can't pivot their whole enterprise into steel from night and day. So this is kind of where we're a little ahead of the curve on that. But as you're building the efficiencies, it goes into the insulation. It goes into the process of constructing the home. Yeah. So, you got a slab that is an insulated slab. So that way there's no moisture that goes into the slab. They do a foam insulation. That's at that phase. And I'm just going to kind of give some highlights.
Yeah.
Once before they get out of framing, before they hit drywall, they do spray foam insulation.
Wow.
So spray foam's different than batch. So what that does is like it foams and it basically closes everything.
It's more insulated.
It's more insulated, but what we do is they reverse pressurize the house after this and smoke the house.
Nice.
So basically they create a negative pressure, smoke it, and see
where it's leaking.
So that way the house is sealed like a thermos.
The only downfall with the spray and foam, Dan, is that once your walls are up and you want to run new wire, it's going to be very hard to run wire. So when you build this home, you better make sure you got everything that you need
and
at
that's
that point.
Why we're pre-wiring these homes to scale to like whatever you want from a low voltage standpoint.
Yeah.
So when you get to that point and it's a thermos, well, what does that mean to you on your energy?
Yeah.
So it means when your air cools your house, it's like a thermos, it stays cool.
Yeah.
So it's like a domino effect. And what does that mean for your AC? It means there's less load. Your AC's running less. Why? Because when it's cool, it's not like having to keep it cool because your house is cool. So all of these things are part of that domino effect.
Yeah.
That basically it's less power that you have to do with solar because it's going to be less power to cool. So it's just there's more sustainable, less energy usage, maximized so your battery can stay longer. All of this is all tied in. So it's bringing that whole ecosystem under one umbrella where everything's talking to each other. You got the solar people talking to the electrician, talking to the AC, and the house is built that way. So that way the house can perform better. And your cost of ownership is nothing. It's so much less. It's better.
So is the house powered by solar 100%?
Yeah, I mean, you're still plugged into the grid because our market's not there. Legislation's not there right now to allow to be off-grid.
Well, it would be hard to be off-grid too, just due to the fact that you would need some sort of power bank to push, or store that power somewhere.
Yeah, you have a battery wall storage in your house.
Oh, so this one you will.
Yeah, so you get the Tesla battery wall.
Okay.
You get the solar.
Okay.
So again, you want to be as minimum off the grid. You're plugged into the grid in case there's no sun for 3 months. It's
now
raining.
you got power.
You got power.
Still got power.
But I'd rather have a $18 hookup fee or 20 or whatever it is versus $1,100 power bill.
Now is that cost a part of the home, or is it
part of the home
finance? Because how like some homes out here
it's
you got to go get
home,
finance.
What we wanted to create.
I like that.
We wanted to create simplicity.
Yeah.
You go into build your car and Tesla. What we really wanted to do is how do we create that simplicity for the consumer?
Yeah.
Build your home. It's just all included. So you just walk in, get the keys, pick what style you want, and then that's it.
Can you pick the color of your Tesla?
Yeah, I mean,
These guys worry about the Tesla.
it's personalized.
I'm still thinking about the Tesla.
It's personalized living. So
Now,
you can pick the color.
I
of the
really
Tesla.
appreciate what this company is doing because I think you guys are ahead of the curve at the
doing
forefront.
well.
But there's one downfall here when it comes to technology.
I like
and I'm
the
gonna
downfall.
I'm gonna hit you with this, okay?
I love it.
Technology changes on a consistent basis. Once you
Correct.
install all this product into this home, 5-10 years from now, as fast as these things are moving, how is this home going to keep up with the demand? It's going to be outdated.
Okay, I love that. So technology's changing.
Yeah.
Okay. Your phone. What happens with your phone when something needs to be updated?
I just buy another one. Just update it.
They update
Yeah.
it. But they usually update it because they know what's coming and they're updating it. So how do you do that? Well, it's the same thing. These homes are going to be getting patch updates all the time.
Yeah.
Because again, we don't want this home to be obsolete in 5-10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that process, well, how do you know and how to get there? Well, if it was just me doing it, that I'm not from the tech industry, it's one ball of wax. The fact that we have all the tech industry spearheading, the best minds in tech spearheading this, they know how tech evolves. Because we got to understand from an industry perspective, what technology is a whole different ball of wax from real estate and other industries.
Yeah.
Tech, your daily discipline, if you're in tech, and I've seen it, I've been in the offices and it's like, it's kind of changed my whole perspective of life and business in real estate. Because tech is exactly what you said. You wake up every day to innovate because what you did yesterday was yesterday because someone's already doing today what's going to be tomorrow. So you're always pushing yourself. You're innovating daily to push and thrive to be better than yesterday. You're not seeing that in real estate.
Yeah.
You're just waking up. If it ain't broke, no, we have to keep doing better. That drive of innovation just doesn't happen. So with this company, the culture of what we're creating with the staff, the sales, how we're integrating with brokers is we want to do it different. We want to do it better. We want to offer better incentives for our brokers. Why? Because we want to push the envelope. We want to innovate. We want to sell out of this community with our brokers and with faster than any other community because we want to show that innovation is how we progress in life. And that's key. I think that's key. That's why we're doing what we're doing.
I would agree. I think too, like how much does real estate really change though, right? I mean, it changes, but it's very subtle.
Yeah.
Say the tech industry changes frequent.
Yeah.
So you having to go into it as an agent, newer into the future, you're going to have to really know all the things that's going on with these houses. It's really going to separate the average agent versus the good agent.
You bring that up. I had a conversation last week about that innovation, what you just said. Yeah. Real estate hasn't changed. You'd be surprised. The last week and a half, I've had people saying, hey, Steve, we have clients. Do you guys take Bitcoin? Do you guys take? And I'm like, well, let's figure it out.
Yeah.
Because the market's shifting. Real estate hasn't changed. You know, cryptocurrency is it's not like an idea. It's here. But what are we doing as an industry? You know, I was talking to the association board and whatnot in a conversation. And I said, hey, if it were me, why not create a vehicle, a currency for real estate professionals, your own crypto, that's Association of Realtors crypto, that allows transaction. So you bring in all the lending community, all the real estate community, all the title community to say, hey, we're going to dominate this currency. So any transaction that's done in crypto has to be done and federally regulated.
That'd be kind of cool.
Because now that opens up the bridge that says, okay, whatever crypto, convert it into whatever ABC crypto. Yeah. But this is a monetization instrument that'll allow me to buy and sell real estate.
So this new community that you have going on, this project, if somebody's actually interested, do you have like a home site or a gallery or something that they can view to kind of see the product?
Yeah, we're actually going to be building. Yeah, we're building 3 models.
Yeah,
you know, in the different communities. But it's moving so fast. We said, you know what? We got to throw up renderings. We got to invest with interior design, every aspect of the house, every angle renderings, because the technology's there where people can see what they're buying. And we can show them what we do in the custom with the renderings and then finished product. And then they're like, wow, it's identical. So we can actually do that. But yeah, we're going to have that. Right now, people are going to the website.
Yeah.
People are setting up meetings, and we walk them through this process as they're selecting. The sales team that we have walk you through room by room and say, okay, well, I want the wood cladding upgrade. And they see the before, they see the after. So they know what they're paying for before the house is built. We're actually going to have people moving into the house before the models are even built. That's how crazy the market is right now.
Now, the Neo Las Vegas, we didn't talk about this, HOA fees and stuff.
So HOA fees is going to be $274. We wanted to, $374. We wanted to keep it under $400.
Okay. Because
for guard gated, under $400 with 24-hour guard gate, we wanted to kind of create a different feel. Because, you know, it's funny, we as we were talking to the management company, you know, there's 30, 40-year-old guard-gated townhouse communities. HOAs are like $450.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, my gosh. Like, let's try to keep our HOA as low as possible because that's value for the consumer. And how do we do that? Well, the community is net zero on a community level. So everything powering lights, the guardhouse, there's not going to be a power bill for that because solar, battery storage, self-sustaining, so we can keep the cost down as much as possible to be able to offer lower HOA. So there's a whole thought process we went through in that exercise on that.
Steve, I just want to say thank you so much for taking your time to come on out here.
Appreciate it,
wealth of information. This was actually the best guess. And I'm in this sector, so I love this. So I was actually really into this. I'm going to tell you, this is the best show I've ever had. So I just want to say thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Now, guys, if you guys want more information about this new project, I'm going to have Steve's contact information in the link in the description below. Show the love, show the support. Other than that, until next time, I'm Chakits with Simply Vegas.